to twist the message and twist a person's image and stoop to the lowest of the low to win. And then the citizens are supposed to believe them, and after this is all over, collective bargaining is still here. We'll make sure that we take in the citizens' voice and the firefighters' voice. No, this is all part of that bust we all heard about. This is all part of that, them taking over control, new vision, and the new vision is, police officers, firefighters, nurses, school teachers are going to be left out of the process.
Mr. McDonald, you said that this is a terrible mistake by the vote yes forces. What about the possibility, I don't know, but what about the possibility that that they knew if this happened and there was a flap over the tactic in the ad, there would also be attention focused on their argument that you can have more firefighters and police.
Shame on them.
Yeah, if they're willing to go after us, to go after Marlene Quinn, to try to draw attention to their argument, if that's what they have to stoop to, that shows they're desperate. That shows they're desperate. We know what Senate Bill 5 and Issue 2 does, right? We've been living this since January, you and us. We know what this is. We know where we stand. We know what we're talking about. And if this is what they have to do to draw attention to their issue, shame on them. It's unconscionable. If they sat in a room and said, you know what we ought to do? We ought to get this Marlene Quinn and we ought to twist her words around, and then there'll be this big hubbub and then people will be talking about staffing. That's ridiculous if they thought that. That's a flat out insult on the process. It's a flat out insult on Marlene Quinn. And it's an insult to Ohio voters who they don't think can see through their trick.
You talked a little bit about how this is sort of firing up your police firefighters to go out in the streets and do more talking to neighbors and campaigning. Did your campaign need that kind of spark, or have you lost a little bit of momentum? I know that the gap kind of closed a little bit.
Yeah, the gap has closed a little bit, and we expected that going in. Our people have been working hard. I was in Steubenville last Saturday with 60 police officers and firefighters knocking on doors, and I'll be in Strongsville this Saturday, and I'll be in Portsmouth the Saturday after that, knocking on doors just like Mark and just like all these guys are doing. I don't think there's certainly not an energy or enthusiasm problem in our campaign. But now, instead of having 20 people at a canvas, we got 40 people at a canvas. Instead of having people volunteering for one phone shift, they're volunteering for 2 phone shifts. Instead of people wanting to just write a letter to the editor, now they want to do whatever they can do to help our campaign. And I think the campaign will be able to talk more specifically about what this has done as far as people wanting to volunteer. This has been a long process, way back from January through petitions to now, and we're 25 days away, 26 days away. But our people haven't slowed down, and we haven't suffered from a lack of participation. But I have 25,000 members in the state of Ohio, and we haven't had 25,000 people out at one time. But we've had our people have been involved. But now, like I said, instead of 20, I have 40, and I just think that they've made a terrible mistake. And that if you asked them in private if they could take it back, they'd say they would. But now they have to stick to their story. And Ohioans have seen through this ploy, have seen through this trick, and Ohioans will mark their displeasure on November the 8th.
Laura, one quick, and then we'll wrap it up. I will say this, that I'll say this to wrap this thing up. When you ask that, there's no enthusiasm yet, but now we've taken it personal. Okay, I think every firefighter, police officer who saw our grandmother step up there and go to bat for us has now been attacked. And again, tried to be run over by this bus. So I think we're all taking it personal. So I think it sparked the enthusiasm of those who are already involved, especially